So thanks for coming. This is our talk about Incuna. We are a healthcare company in Oxford and we're looking to recruit people. So this is our team. So I'm James, I'm the designer, or one of the designers at Incuna. And there's Willie and Vicky, who are account executive, and really does design stuff as well. This is basically what I just said. So we're a digital healthcare agency based in Oxford, and we make health-based websites, apps, and other products to improve people's lives. So this is a short timeline, and there's a note here, of Incuna. So in 2009, Incuna was founded by a bunch of people who started a website called doctors.net.uk, which is one of the biggest collections of healthcare professionals. Then in 2012, they opened another office in Singapore, where there's one Welsh guy working out there now, by himself. And then 2015, so this is when I was still there, we expanded to a new Incuna office in Oxford, actually in Summertown, which is just outside Oxford. And our team is just over 45. And then here we are in 2017, so we've got a worldwide client list with some of the biggest companies in pharmaceuticals, and a rapidly growing team, which is why we're here today.
Just to say how quickly it's growing, I joined in December, and since me, I think there's been like 8 new people joined, so I'm apparently like voice of experience.
I think actually since I made this presentation, there's also like at least one new person as well.
Yeah.
So here's some of the benefits of working at Incuna. So you get 25 days of paid holiday a year, life insurance, nice. So you also get Vitality health insurance. Vitality, I don't know if any of you know who they are. They actually sponsor like a bunch of football teams. But they're really good, and the Nuffield gym in Summertown is amazing. It's basically one of the Virgin Active gyms, but it's really around it. You get a pension. Childcare vouchers, probably not applicable to anyone in this room, unless you're thinking of having kids in the next year, in which case maybe. And you get cycle purchase scheme. So there's actually a lot of people in Incuna who are cyclists, pretty active. Not me, but you do, you cycle. But if you want to get a new bike, then you can get it through Incuna and just save money. And then a bunch of other stuff, free fruit, Christmas party, barbecues after drinks, restaurant lunches, birthday cake if it's your birthday, or joining or leaving, you're always okay. Party beers and much more as well. So there's some benefits. So Incuna is in Summertown, which is like a little town just on the edge of Oxford. It's about 50 minutes from Cheltenham, and there's a bus that goes there, or a train. And you can, well, most people actually live in Oxford. You live in Oxford now? Yeah. I live in Wembley, just outside. So this is some photos of the office. This is the inside. So this is our new office in Summertown. We're in like a small one before, which is basically like a house. But it's pretty cramped, so we moved into a new office now, which is a big open plan place. It's a building owned by Oxford University. And it's actually really big, although we're kind of like filling it up quite quickly. Yeah. So here's some of the, you can see all the desks just laid out, and that is quite nice.
Again, like when I started, there was a nice like little sofa area and like a room for social space, and now that's completely been taken up by desks. And we're kind of split up into our different teams as well. So the commercial are kind of next to design, and then dev right in the corner. So we're kind of in our teams, but still all in the same space, which is nice.
And this is what it looks like from the outside. So I don't know if anyone in here knows what Summertown looks like. It's basically got a big main high street. And if you come off the high street and go behind Marks and Spencer's, then there's that building. Go back. This building here, so it's kind of down in the background. There's a big sign, so if anyone's ever looking for it, for like an extra or whatever, that's what we're looking for. So, which, you want to do something?
Yes. So I actually moved to Oxford a couple of years ago, not for Incuna, but for a different company. So obviously when I was moving there, I had to think about the kind of reasons that I wanted to move there in the first place, because I had moved from kind of going to university to back to my parents' hometown, which is obviously kind of quiet, so I wanted something a bit better. So Oxford kind of ticks a lot of boxes in that respect. So there's tons of amazing restaurants. I feel like Oxford's pretty exceptional for that, but I don't know the reason for that at all.
There's actually one of the restaurants in Summertown, which is just down the road, is a pizza place, which is my favourite, and that just got voted the best independent pizza and pasta place in the UK. So that's
yeah, there's lots of tourist spots. So obviously, it's got the University of Oxford, which is the site for like a lot of the Harry Potter films, for example. You've got Narnia, Alice in Wonderland. So you've got tourists coming in for like several times of the year, which I imagine is a similar kind of busyness to like Cheltenham right now with the races and during the literary festival and things like that. It's a great place to learn stuff. Obviously, being the university being the whole hub of the city, the university actually owns most of the city as it is. So loads of spaces are like rented out for like lectures and talks, and there's like loads of interesting things which the public can just go along to, even though it's funded by the university. So it's kind of a great place to kind of learn new things. So since joining, I've started Spanish classes, which is actually with the university itself. And Brittany and I have opened to art classes, which we've given up today for you guys. Yep. Lots of events to attend, so I think you want to...
Yes, so there's a load of events at Oxford University that anyone can go to. So I went to one recently, which was called Oxford Inspires, which is run by the Oxford Entrepreneur Society. And me and Brittany both went to it, and another girl who is in our recruitment team called Gabby. She went on as well, and you can just attend all the stuff. You don't have to be in Oxford University, which is good. But yeah, there's loads of stuff like that, which is quite cool.
Yeah, people kind of assume you're smart because you live there. So my previous job, I was interacting a lot with the general public, and especially the tourists, things kind of come up to you and are like, "Oh wow, so you're a student here?" And it's like, no, but you end up kind of accumulating a lot of information about the university anyway, and about the place that you live in it, because it's such an interesting place. There's kind of a lot to always talk about. Okay, back to you.
So some of the stuff that we make is mostly iOS and Android apps, as well as websites. This is kind of like the big part of it. Those are most of our products are. We've actually got a thing which is kind of Incuna's own product called ePatient, which is basically an e-patient platform where patients can do things and track their own diseases, kind of reminds them when to take medication, things like that, so they don't miss anything. That's like the big one at the moment. That's kind of what Incuna's really pushing. A lot of internal projects that we work on, marketing materials, and we also do a load of stuff for startups. So we did there's a company that came to us which had like 4 or 5 startups that they were funding, medical startups, and we did a whole load of stuff with the branding for them. So that was quite cool. So these are the people that we make our stuff for. A lot of it is patients with the conditions, like I just mentioned about the e-patient thing that we do. A lot of it is patients with the conditions, whether it's like cancer or diabetes, things like that. Those are like the 2 main ones that we deal with. Also things for the family, friends and carers of people with the conditions to kind of make their job easier. That's like another big one things we do. Medical professionals, doctors, nurses, specialists. So another thing we do, there's a website that we work on called TGHM, which is the Global Health Network, and that's basically a website which has a load of websites inside it which are collections of like professionals in certain areas, so you get specialists on. So we did one recently for the Zika virus, and that was like there's a whole epidemic on that. And they basically get all those people in one place to talk, and then pharmaceutical companies, like I mentioned earlier. That's another big one that we do. Those are some of our big clients. And National Health Services, so also not just the UK, but also like international health services as well. That's a big one. And then, like I mentioned, for startup companies as well. Yeah, I think that's most of our clients, right?
Yeah, I'd say Oxford's kind of becoming a bit of a hub for this. So the local MP at Oxford is actually the kind of health secretary. So she is obviously kind of really trying to push this at Oxford. So it's a really kind of good industry to kind of get into in the area. I think there's a lot available to us, and especially with the university's connection. Yeah, it's a pretty big hub.
And actually, if you go on the Oxford Mail website, the MP, I forget what her name is now. She came in. She came into the office. Was it last week?
Yeah, so last Friday she came in with the Oxford Mail, kind of did a bit of a talk, and kind of went around to see what we provided, and she seemed genuinely impressed, not saying that just because I work there or whatever. So
there's a story on the Oxford Mail website which there's some photos of stuff if you really want to see. So this is the actual people that we work with. So like I mentioned before, we've got some of the top 10 pharma companies and some of the small ones. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which is quite cool. We've got MASA, another quite cool one, the Wellcome Trust, and NHS. Those are some of the main ones we work with, and then obviously, like I mentioned before, we have individual hospitals or medical professionals. Those are most of our clients and people we work with.
So yeah, aside from the healthcare stuff, there are actually some less serious stuff that we do inside Incuna. So this is like a Christmas website that we sent out to clients over the Christmas period. And this myself and another trainee developer, Incuna, actually made this. So it's like a spinner that people select a like random sort of series, and we based on what they select to send them out something. So yeah, there's serious stuff that we do at Incuna. And also I worked on the design for this. So there are actually opportunities to do stuff. We don't actually just make tea. Yeah, I've had a chance to design some pretty cool stuff there. So
if you actually back this quickly, this one optimized. This is another one of like so rather than just doing a website, optimized is actually one of Incuna's products that we made and then are releasing to Amazing. So this is actually one of our biggest things, and this is what Brendan worked on pretty recently. So he did all the design for that. So like you said, you're not just making tea, which is nice. And I never make tea. I don't know how to make tea. Diabetes coaches. So I mentioned that earlier. There's an app, and one of the things that we do is we make stuff for people with diabetes. So this is one of the apps where people can track them. So you can see up there, you've got recipes up there. There is like here you can see injection recorders, so people can actually track where they did their injection last, and it basically just helps them keep on top of their medication, things like that. This is like quite a big one. This is one of the ones that we show quite a lot because it was really popular, it worked really well. And then we've just got a bunch of posters which someone in the team made. But those are quite cool. I can play before. Cool, so this is what I do. So I'm one of the designers at Incuna. And these are some of the tools that I use. So I've got Photoshop, Illustrator, Sketch, Affinity, and there's a bunch of other ones that I either learned when I was there, or if I find a tool that I like, then I just basically use it. And I actually gave a presentation at Incuna about Sketch. Some of the people in here probably know that I go on about it quite a lot. I basically do the same in the office, and managed to get a bunch of people using it there, which is nice. So I think there was 7 when I made this thing. Now I think it's 8 designers we've got. People from like all around the world. There's actually, if anyone remembers the 2014 Football World Cup, one of the ladies on the team actually made the poster for that from Brazil, which is really cool. And this is a bunch of stuff that I do. So I do some print work, like digital, UX, marketing, video, pictures, all that kind of stuff. A lot of the work that we do actually comes from pitching to pharmaceutical companies. So rather than waiting for them to come to us, we get like a brief, and then we have a whole bunch of companies just like us all pitching for that same work. Basically, that's how I learned, by just working on pitches so much. And the creative director there is honestly probably the nicest man in the world. Vicky and Brimley have obviously met him, Inside's met him, so I can probably agree, and other people as well. But he's awesome, he's really nice, he's really the best one. Every morning we have a design team catch up, where we just talk about what we're working on, if there's any news. Sometimes we have like little design team lunches, where we go and just talk about design stuff, I guess. And then every week, every Monday morning, we have a big company catch up, which is really nice. We've got like a big open plan office, so we basically all meet up, directors tell us what's new, what's happening in the week, and then we go away and do our stuff. And then every Friday we have a little design show and tell, which is quite nice. So if you've got anything cool, like a new app found, or just even some like cool animation that you found, then we just show that to each other, which is quite nice. And you can bring your own style to the team. So when I got there, like a lot of the pharmaceutical stuff that we do was, well, it's obviously like a very regulated industry. So some of the designs kind of have to be a certain style. I always like to put my own style and stuff. You can probably see this is kind of what my style is from the slides. And these two can probably agree that you can kind of tell who has worked on which product by style and things like that, which is quite nice. So you don't all have to kind of stick to something. If you've got like a certain style that you like, then just go with it and make it happen. And if anyone is a designer and they know what Dribble is, it's a really cool website for posting your designs on there. Get you on there and then give you a Mac to use and you can do your stuff, I guess.
So aside from the stuff that James does, which I also do, I've also got the opportunity to do development at Incuna. So we use stuff like GitHub and Git most of the time. Most of the time it's me using Git to fix the stuff on GitHub. But yeah, it's always good to have sort of an idea of sort of programs that designers use, because usually you have to go in and grab the assets from the designs to use. Zeppelin is a big help in that situation, because you can like grab colours from documents and stuff. Yeah, so it's a good idea to have an idea of how the programs work. Mainly what I use on a day-to-day basis is HTML and SAS. SAS is just so much better than CSS. And JavaScript and jQuery, which we actually used in Christmas practice. And yeah, the team is so helpful. Like, if you ever have a question, you can just ask. Help you out, and they have a very like collective mentality. So like, if you're stuck on something, they'll give you a hand.
I think it's like every Friday there's like a big dev team.
There is. Yeah, so they call it it's the dev team catch up, where we just talk about what we've done for the week and if we're having any sort of troubles with projects that we're working on.
We also use like a messaging tool called Slack, which is where everyone in all the teams can talk to each other and post pictures and stuff like that. There's different channels for all of the teams. So there's a design one, there's a public commercial one, there's a dev one, and anyone can jump into each of the different teams and basically talk to each other. That's quite a good way to communicate, and we use that a lot. It's really nice. If anyone here hasn't used it but has heard of it, give it a go because it's awesome, and we use that a lot.
Yeah, and you get a choice of operating system. So we've got like people using Linux and Mac OS and Windows. So if you use any, use what you want really.
Okay, so who are we looking to hire? So obviously designers, which I guess is the majority of you, developers, and people studying other courses. I think this is a really big thing because I was actually an English literature student at university, and obviously I'm in a completely different industry now. The medical side is completely new to me, but kind of backing up to what you were saying, I think that people at Incuna are genuinely so supportive, and I've been having so much help, like bringing, like actually basically my like personal assistant with anything kind of like tech related. So it really is open to people doing other kind of courses, and we can make a space for you. So when I first came for an interview, I said, what kind of positions do you have available? And they said, well, what do you want to do? And now I'm not only doing the commercial team, but I'm also obviously doing recruitment. I'm working in marketing as well. So we've just started a kind of new like promotional team, which is a lot of fun. So we're going out to kind of like universities, like you guys, and we're going out to hopefully some tech events and like medical events to kind of like talk to people in the industry and kind of again kind of spread Incuna's name, but also just to genuinely learn from that. So I was just saying, honestly, don't feel like you can't, because I mean I'm not even the only literature student. There's a couple of us, creative writing student. I think you said someone did civil engineering, so it really is open to everybody. Secondary students placement, so obviously these guys. Third year students for graduate jobs. And yeah, again, when I went to the interview, again I was told more so that it was about kind of personality fit with Incuna. It's more if you're kind of willing to learn. And again, when I said, they said, what do you want to do? They were like, even if you wanted to train up on the side to be a designer or a developer, we can make that happen. We can make that relevant training. So if you're kind of just keen to learn new things and kind of get out there, then yeah.
That's a really good point, because when I joined, I was obviously doing design. I had the option to do dev stuff, and then I just basically didn't want to, so I didn't do any of that. And instead, I told them that I was interested in business, so they let me go with the rest of the commercial team, the Vicky's in, and do like some sales training, and do things like presenting and pitches and stuff like that, and that was really cool. And they're really open to that kind of stuff, which is nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have a pretty big team. It's like 45-ish now. Like I said before, we're growing pretty quick. So that number is always changing. But we have tons of people from all around the world, which is actually really nice. Because we find out, like, I've been working on, actually me and Vicky actually met doing Spanish lessons. And there's another guy in the office who's Spanish, called Carlos. He's the app developer, and he kind of taught me Spanish extra in my lunches, and stuff like that. It's really cool. Plus, a couple of the designers are also Brazilians, and there's a Portuguese lady there. They kind of teach me some Portuguese as well, which is quite cool. So it's nice having like a big multicultural office.
I was going to say, this is going to seem like a silly perk, but it's not, especially when you're like working every day. we've got a tasty table which has like sweets and cakes and stuff on it. And because we have so many people from different countries, like I noticed last week we got a table full of like different kind of sweets and cakes and stuff that I'm not recognising any of them because they're from wherever people have come from. So that's just a little good.
So yeah, that is basically who Incuna is, and that's who we are. Thanks so much for listening. And you can find Incuna on all of these links. But we're also here for questions. If you have any questions, let us know.
How many sort of designers, developers is the ratio of the team?
So there's more developers than there is designers. There's probably about 8 designers, I think, and
15 developers.
15 probably developers. There was a few more, but I think one guy just left because he had a baby. Not him, but. So yeah, it's actually like a pretty close mix. I guess it's like 2 to 1 maybe, developers to designers. Together probably make up like maybe half, like 2/3 of the whole company. Yeah.
I think because Incuna's growing so quickly at the moment, and we've got like a couple of particularly big and rather demanding clients at the moment. One guy has actually just moved over from project management into development just to kind of help support the amount of work we've got coming in. So again, it's if you are coming in as a placement student for development or design, it's definitely not about, as Brittany said, like making tea and doing odd jobs. It's 100% being in the role because like you're like booked out and we even use you when you're not even there. So it's it is pretty full on.
So would you say in terms of recruitment, based on that ratio, that there's more demand for designers at Incuna at the moment?
It's probably pretty even actually. I think if anything probably more developers. But it's pretty tight both ways, like there's probably not enough designers and there's definitely not enough developers.
I think because commercial is a bit more of a kind of transferable skill, we get a lot more people come to us about kind of working in a commercial team, which is not a problem at all, and obviously we do need more people. But I think the kind of need is more there for people with those specific kind of talents and interests as well.
So you don't do any server-side programming or scripting?
Oh no, we do. Yeah, that was just a list of the stuff that I put there. I suppose. Yeah, we use Python and AngularJS and all sorts of. Yeah, the team is basically split into back-end, middle end, sort of JavaScript and JavaScript people and the front-end team, which I am. So yeah, we do. Yeah, we do use stuff.
How many users, monthly users you're taking on?
Sorry?
How many users?
Oh, that's a question, isn't it?
What for?
For the stuff.
I don't know, but I mean some of it's absolutely huge, isn't it? Like mine is massive. So
quite a lot of stuff is actually in my days ago. I'm not sure like which countries it's in, but some of the countries that we
tons.
Yeah, I know.
I've been doing.
And there's another one that we did, which is in Asia, which had tons of people. Actually, I don't know the numbers, but that had a lot of people. And also the TJ10 stuff, which was the global health network stuff that I mentioned before, like the Zika virus stuff that we did. That had like a big majority of the actual Zika virus specialists in. I don't know the numbers of that, but that's another really popular one.
And your apps are free to download or?
Some of them I think are in the App Store, but a lot of the stuff that we do is like specific to the clients. So it will be like internal stuff for them. So if we have like a function of the company and want something built internally, rather than letting it go on the App Store, which is not relevant to a lot of people, then we'll just kind of push it internally.
Do you think Incuna would be open to having a group of specialists, developers, designers work in a different location to Oxford but as a team? So for example in Cheltenham, if there was 4 or 5 developers, 3 designers or whatever ratio, and those guys were more central to obviously Cheltenham and Gloucester. Of course what we're talking of there is like another office in a manner of speaking, but even if obviously their settlement has been in this area, I can imagine many people are very interested in sort of working for Incuna, if they were to say. But then it's, I guess, one of the biggest jumps for them is relocation. So I'm just wondering whether there is any sort of base for offering students or graduates an opportunity to work for Incuna, but within their region which they're already established in.
Like I still work there quite a bit remotely.
Yeah.
I don't have to go back to Oxford that much.
We've actually had a guy working remotely in Poland as well. So.
And there was another lady working remotely in Amsterdam as well.
Yeah.
And there was obviously some guy working in Singapore, like I mentioned earlier. So quite possibly, I mean, it's pretty close.
I was just thinking like a very basic office of a single room where 4 or 5 people could collaborate in one place, but obviously have complete connection to Incuna and deliver.
Like I said, we're pretty close to Oxford anyway, and plus we're filling up the office, even though it's big, we're filling that up pretty quick. So I mean, probably.
I don't know if that's something to take back, because I could imagine many students here who have the skills and expertise, as we all see. But in terms of the jump of I have to be in Oxford in order to live there, that might deter them a little bit, and I can imagine that's the challenge for them to do. But then if you needed recruitment, I think perhaps an investment in a small office, which the university I'm sure would be happy to also help with.
We'll definitely find out.
Yeah.
We're all going to be there tomorrow.
I just think, as a company of Incuna, and knowing that Cheltenham is also quite a digi-savvy place of the UK, that link with having presented what you've done today to these guys, as well as future prospective people, I think there could be easy links to establish there, and really have connections for.
We'll definitely mention it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Any other questions, Jamie?
I was going to ask a quick one. As you obviously just said how busy you are, and obviously how rapidly Incuna's growing. Do you think maybe Incuna would be open to setting aside one afternoon and letting us select 5 or 6 students come into the office to get a further insight into kind of what happens on a day-to-day?
It's funny you say that. We've actually got that tomorrow morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we've actually got our first one ever tomorrow morning, which was driven from the Brook students coming in. So we've got like activities for them to do, which is similar to the kind of work we'd be doing, and they're just going to be able to chat to kind of professionals, get a feel for the office. So yeah, I think if it goes well tomorrow, then it'll definitely become the first kind of trial one. So.
Most of the time, if someone gets like an interview there, then they bring around the office and show you anyway. Meet all the team and stuff like that. So, I mean, based on how tomorrow goes, which I'm sure will be fine, then we'll probably be doing more stuff like that. Because I know we've actually been trying to do that for at least 2 years the whole time I've been there, and this is the first one we've actually got. So hopefully there'll be more.
Obviously, you've taken placement students over the last 2 years, and being yourself and Brittany, but both as individuals, would you be happy to take group placement students rather than individuals?
Yeah, I'd say so, because I said the other day in a recruitment meeting with the managing director, we did say to him, is it good us going out to so many places and doing these talks, because surely we're going to fill up, hopefully. And he said that there wasn't really a limit on numbers at the moment. I think the problem, if anything, is space, but it's something that we can make work, and we do work in a very large building, so I'm pretty sure that we would be able to accumulate more space if need be. But I'd say as far as actual bodies are concerned, it's pretty open.
Yeah. With Incuna, what's their contracts like? Say if you want to do freelancing on the side, sort of thing.
So I do quite a lot of work outside of Incuna anyway, which is even still kind of related stuff. I do app work and web work as well, and they're fine with that.
You actually have there's one woman in the design team that actually freelances and works at the time.
So say as well, how flexible are they? Say if I wanted to work for Incuna, if I asked them if I could work from home for 2 days a week, can you come in for 2 days?
That would probably be fine. Oh yeah, of course. One of the other designers does that. There's.
Yeah, Paula doesn't.
That's true.
That's more work.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be fine. And like we said, there's people working remotely, all over, basically the same thing, right? So yeah, I'm sure.
Not to go into too much details, but what is the income incentive behind all this in terms of? I mean,
are we allowed to say what the placement thing is? I think the placement student salary is what, like,
starting at 15, is it? It's
so.
quite standard.
That's the
Yeah.
placement.
15 to 18 is usually where we'd hope
No.
most designers, developers start at.
And then I think, so that's placement salary.
Mm.
And I think, obviously once you're working there full time, obviously it goes up. I think it's lower for probation, but then once you pass your probation, it goes up.
Mm.
But I'm actually not sure, and that's why I'm meeting with the creative director tomorrow to work out what I'm going to be on. So, fingers crossed that we send a nice.
Okay. Cool. Any other questions, guys? No? Okay, well, thank you very much for your time. It's been very helpful, very insightful. I wouldn't mind coming to work for Incuna if I could. But yeah, otherwise, it's good to hear that this company's sort of open to you guys at the end of the day. And I think Dale made a valid point. You don't, well, not to talk on behalf of the company, but you don't necessarily have to be at the company in order to be working for a company. It just depends on your approach, your commitment, and your ability to be flexible, really, I guess. And obviously to deliver, I think is the most important thing. And I think you are all capable of delivering based on your performances these days. Okay, cool. Thank you very much, guys. Very helpful.